Good morning to you, Nigerians. You're welcome to Morning Pulse, the pulse of Nigerians. My name is Ifoma Oji, and joining me in the studio this morning for this morning's conversation, I have with me Mr. Sacramento. Good afternoon. Rather, good morning, sir. I don't know why I'm moving to afternoon, but good morning. There's good in all of them. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine.
You look good as always.
Thank you.
Now, and I have with me live in the studio also Mr. Ugochukwu Afuba. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you this
I'm
morning?
fine. How are you doing?
All right, I'm good. Let's move straight to the stories. Now, former Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, has once again insisted that the Lagos EndSARS panel report on the Lekki tollgate shooting was fake, describing it as nothing more than tales by moonlight. Now, this is the same report that documented the killings and injuries of peaceful protesters on October 20th, 2020, a night Nigerians remember as the Lekki toll gate shooting. Now, the former minister claims the panel's findings were filled with inconsistencies and that the idea of massacre was a product of social media hysteria, not substantiated evidence. Let's take a look and we'll come back to the studio.
Honestly, that pushback, I still stand by it. Nobody ever said nobody died during the EndSARS. No, people died even in Abuja. They died in Lagos. They died in Kanu. But what we were saying is that CNN was not at the toll gate. CNN relied on second-hand, third-hand information as if we were there. And my argument and logic was very simple. If a man has a goat and the goat does not come home one night, he will go out and look for that goat. Now, 5 years on today, nobody has come to tell us that my son or my ward went to the toll gate, he didn't come back. We never said there was no. People died in Adimosho. People died, many places during the EndSARS. So in fact, 37 policemen were killed. 6 soldiers were killed. It's what we kept making that, listen, EndSARS was unfortunate, it was tragic, but that there was a massacre at the toll gate is fake.
Heard it from the horse's mouth. He said that the massacre in Tollgate was actually fake, and he said 5 years later that none of the parents of those people that were allegedly killed on Lekki Tollgate in October 20th, 2020, that none of them have come to say, I lost my child during that particular incident. Now, I'm coming to you, Mr. Sacramento. Do you think that the absence of families publicly reporting missing children automatically mean no one died at Lekki Tollgate?
Well, thank you for that question, Informer. It's quite unfortunate that I thought this man has packed up, but I'm shocked to see Lai Mohammed, who has continued to lie.
Lie.
Lai Mohammed. It's quite unfortunate if an elder statesman comes out, of his caliber comes out to just talk from the two sides of his mouth. And I would urge Nigerians not to take this man serious because he's really, none of his child was there.
Yeah.
If his child has been there, maybe the story would have been different. The truth about it is that, was there a gunshot? Were military people there? Is it the duty of the military people to come and give guard in a very peaceful protest? That's the first question. Now, was there gunshots that night? That's another question that people need to answer. So if this man comes on board to start saying all these things, and they arrested a lot of people, which some of them are still in detention to date. So if Lai Mohammed thinks because people have decided to swallow the bitter pills and he thinks nothing of such happened, that is all lies, well, we pray that maybe something like that should happen to him. And then maybe he would now realize how it looks like for one to lose his child and decide not to, because he has looked at the whole thing. Maybe the parents have looked at the whole thing. Nothing is going. If you keep pursuing the government, would your child come back to life?
Exactly.
Would your friend come back to life? No. So many of them decide to just swallow the bitter pills and allow it to, just go down like that. Remember when the governor of Lagos State called 2 years ago that people should come and claim their corpse. Otherwise, they are going to have a mass burial. So Lai Mohammed, didn't he see that? Or didn't he hear that? People of EndSARS. So I wonder why he should come on board to say things like this, instead of him to say things happen and we shouldn't experience such thing anymore in our country, because things, say things the way an elder statesperson should. But you could hear him saying all those things are hoax and they're all lies. I wonder why he should be saying things like that when we have the first-hand people who are there.
Yeah. All right. Now coming to you, Mr. Ogochukwu. Now 5 years down the line, no parents have come out to say my child was among those that were, shot during that particular protest in Lekki Tollgate. Now, would you expect families to report the same government they believed harmed their children?
I think that's the right question to ask, because if, let's continue to use allegedly anyway, so they don't pick us up. But if allegedly the same government that, carried out this massacre on these people, who then are you going to report to? That same government. And to Mr. Lai Mohammed, our elder statesman, like Mr. Daniel Sacramento put it, I don't know if he uses a different dictionary from myself, because the dictionary explains to us that a massacre is an indiscriminate and brutal slaughter of many people. I do not know if there is any other definition of what a massacre is. And on that particular night, we even saw it on videos where people were protesting, and all of a sudden, we started seeing gunshots, we started hearing of it, people were running away, people were falling, Nigerians. If that is not a massacre, I do not know what else is.
All right.
And the same Mr. Lai Mohammed, I think he tried to work with the former Attorney General of Nigeria to, these people try to censor the things we put out in the media. They try to ban eggs that time. You see, this is just their ways to, censor the things available in the media. I agree with them that, social media has done more harm than good. But that was not the reason they were pushing for that censor. It was just to limit the things Nigerians get so that they cannot get the truth. And that's the same thing he's coming to do to us now.
All right. Now, still talking about evidences and critics on what happened on Tollgate, October 20th, 2020. We have videos of victims that were gunned down during that protest, and would want us to take a look at the video, and when we come back, we'll have more discussions on that.
I was actually at the snooker board that night I don't know how to play snooker. I was just standing with him while he was playing. I was like, okay, let me go and check my phone that was on charge. The lights went off. We were like, what was wrong? Next thing I heard was there was just shooting everywhere. The guy that was actually leading me to the charging point was shot at the side. So when I saw I was shot, I
met him lying down, treating by the corner of the hospital. So he can't talk to me, can't open eye. So I was surprised to see him in the position, that situation. So I have to try and see the doctor if he can be able to transfer him to Ikeja, because that is nearby. So they write a letter that he should be transferred that night, but they said there's no bullion and there's no ambulance. So the next day in the night, he has not got himself.
The thing that I remember last was that it was my friend I followed to the place. He said we should go and do some updates of works. he was doing those cement tiles that they did on the road. So, and I was at home. I learned AC. So, there wasn't work then. So, I was at home. So, he just came back, seeing me around. So, I now asked him to make me follow him. So, that was what caused the incident. So, after that,
I'm speaking on behalf of my brother who died from this protest. Ayodunbe Gabriel Ayola.
What happened to him?
He was shot in the head, and we were actually looking for him because he doesn't stay with us. So it was like 2 days before he passed on that we saw this. Somebody sent it to me on WhatsApp. So
and we've gotten first-hand information of what happened on October 20th, 2020. Now, Amnesty International actually confirmed this incident and condemned the killings of people on that day. And not just that, Outrage News confirmed it, channels confirmed it, TVC confirmed it. And 5 years down the line, Nigerians are still asking, who ordered that shooting? And we are coming in the headlines to see today that Lai Mohammed, the former Minister of Information, is coming to say that nobody died on that day. Mr. Daniel Sacramento will have, more conversations. Now, you've seen, videos of people that, the victims of that particular incident that happened that day. We saw the likes of DJ Switch. What happened then? Let me still have your take on this.
It's quite unfortunate that, like I said, I've been issued that a person of Lai Mohammed could come on board to remind people of the pains.
He should have just kept quiet.
Of the pains they have passed through. And you're coming on board after 5 years to say that nobody died. We won't blame you because you think your child, none of your siblings or your relations are involved there. Nigeria is a place where, if somebody calls Nigeria a banana republic, that person might not be mistaken.
Not wrong.
A lot of discrepancies, a lot of trash happening. They are now saying nobody has been able to come on board to say we gave this order for people to shoot. Remember, before they perpetrated this act, they offed the light.
Yes.
And they started shooting people. Trying to let people not know that it is the military that came to do this. No problem. Just Monday, people were massacred in Meduguri. Women were killed who were protesting, a peaceful protest.
I think that was Adamawa.
And yes, Adamawa. A peaceful protest, and they fired women who are not carrying gun, who are not doing anything. Up to date,
it was
military people has not come on board to say this happened or this happened, and the federal government have swallowed it. So a lot of killings are all happening in this country on daily basis, and nobody is giving us answers. Nobody is saying anything because maybe they think we are too many. We are too many in the country, and they want to reduce us. So that is why you could see unnecessary killings going on in the country. And Lai Mohammed is coming after 5 years to come and remind Nigerians of what the pain, the parents, the siblings of people who lost their dear ones, coming on board to remind us. You see why most of the time we don't have respect for all these so-called elder statesmen, because they have no respect for themselves. They have no respect for human rights. And that's why he could come on board, come to a television to come and be saying these things with all form of conviction.
No,
So it's a very terrible thing.
Yeah, now still talking on this, let's talk about the parents that lost their lives on that particular day, Ugochukwu. Let's talk about that now, because he has come to confirm that nobody died on that Lekki toll gate, and we've seen videos of people that died. Now, imagine that parent, a parent that lost their child, seeing this particular video on social media. What do you think, you know, that parent will be thinking at this point in time? And what do you think Nigerians watching this particular video, because this has garnered a lot of traction on social media, what do you think Nigerians will think?
Well, like Mr. Sacramento said already, it is more than unfortunate, the things that happen in Nigeria. And I won't be surprised that if people continue using that phrase Trump used on Nigeria, now disgraced country, because that's just what they are proving. A situation that like this, something they should have, you know, people are still, every year there is a commemoration of what happened that particular night. You should not be reminding people of what they have faced in the past. You should, I felt if they wanted to hide it, they should try to bury it even, rather than, you know, trying to ignite.
Open more wounds.
Exactly,
yeah.
Because people lost their lives there. Human beings, these people are not trees, they are not objects. They are human beings who have feelings and emotions. So I feel bringing this up again is just reminding those people of the pain maybe they've been trying to move on with, and you are bringing it up again. And sorry, you didn't ask me this, but what Mr. Sacramento said about the killing in Adamawa, you know, this, we've been seeing the military doing things like this, shooting people that are unarmed, peaceful protesters. And I don't know, we always say that the military, that they take to orders. Who are the persons giving these orders? I have to, you know, think about what Mr. Sacramento is also saying. It's as if they just want to reduce the life expectancy of Nigerians, because why are you opening fire on unarmed women? And even if that was orders, I believe that in military, something we call unlawful orders, you have a moral obligation to know when this order is illegal.
All right.
I mean, we should be human beings even when we are at work.
Exactly, we should be human beings even when we're working. Now, I remember weeks ago, or last week rather, when Boris Johnson came out on the social media to say that Nigerians' population is increasing, and before you know it, will be more than one of the largest populace in the entire country. So maybe allegedly that the government is trying to reduce the number of people that live in Nigeria. I mean, it's possible, but let's move over to the United States of America. Now, 2 U.S. congressional committees have expressed deep concern over the worsening humanitarian situation in Nigeria, particularly the swelling population of internally displaced persons. Lawmakers in Washington describes Nigeria's IDP crisis as one of the most neglected in the world, pointing to mass displacements caused by terrorism, banditry, and military operations. Now, the panel accused Nigerian authorities of failing to protect vulnerable communities, leaving millions homeless, traumatized, and without adequate support services. They also raised questions about transparency in humanitarian funding, insisting that both the Nigerian government and international partners must account for the billions of dollars spent every year. Now, the message from Washington is clear: address the insecurity, protect civilians, or risk losing international goodwill. Now, 2 days ago, Riley Moore visited Nigeria, Benue State to be precise, to witness or have first-hand information in people that have, you know, lost their lives, not just that, people that have been, you know, displaced. And within the period of 2023 to 2025, we've seen citizens of Nigeria, you know, displaced. About 3.4 million people have been displaced. Let's talk about the fact that the elite in Nigeria are yet to maybe find this data or these findings about people that have been displaced. It now took the U.S. congressmen to come down to Nigeria to witness and have, you know, face-to-face conversation with these people, these victims of this displacement. So let me get your take, Mr. Sacramento.
Okay. If you say Nigerians do not have data of internally displaced persons, then they are all lying to themselves. You see, this is a country where people are not held responsible. So anything goes. People behave the way they want to behave. People act the way they want to act, knowing fully well that so many of them owns the law. Not the law does not belong to everybody. There are a particular set of people that owns the law. Now it took American Congress people to come to see for themselves, to see the level where the thing people have been, degenerated to, the human lives, internally displaced people, how they are being taken care of. And yet, we have Ministry of Humanitarian Services. You see, we have no working system in the country. The system, the law or the constitution works when it has to do with political connect. When a big politicians who do not want to be indicted on one thing or the other. That is when or a particular region that the government, if the sitting power does not like, or people don't appreciate them, then that is the region where the constitution works. That's the truth. Now, the truth about it is this. Internally displaced people are not properly taken care of. That is the truth. Now, for how long would they be in the IDP camp? What effort has the government done to put back their community back in place? The insecurity that affected them, how has it been addressed? What are the checks and balances? What are the checks to make sure that there's no reoccurrence of those issues? And that is why I keep saying, I'm begging Mr. President, I hate when you send emissaries to something that you can easily visit.
And do yourself.
Go on to clinical assessment. You go there to assess yourself. You go there, you listen to the people that are affected, not people who lives in Abuja, not people who moves around with, thank God their securities has been removed now.
They say
They said.
No, a lot of them are, the Senate ministers, their security has been all removed. Now, go down to those places, go to region by region. It solves a lot of problems. What are the problems? What are the challenges people are facing? What is the causes of this insecurity in those areas? How do we address it? The children that are there, okay, if you don't want to, how do you relocate them?
Yes.
What have you built? What have you built that you could relocate them from there? Because majority of them are vulnerable.
Yeah.
The people who attack them could still come back and adopt children. During Buhari, they went to IDP camps to adopt people there.
Yeah.
And they introduced them into banditry, to become terrorists.
Yeah.
Now, so a lot needs to be done.
Yeah.
So that, and that's what American has come to say. Even the Christian stuff they're talking about, he said, hey, you people must end this Christian killing. Talking about 600,000 Christians has been affected in this, and so many of them are in IDP camps where nothing is functioning. They are still finding it difficult to feed.
All right. Now, Mr. Gochuku, I'll pass the mic to you shortly. Now, imagine a state, we can call it a sovereign state, and giant of Africa, having about 3.4 million displaced persons. And in Benue State, only we have over 600 people in IDP camps. Is Nigeria still, a sovereign state?
I've always said that Nigeria, they always boast of sovereignty, but yet they are not showing traits or sign of a country that is truly sovereign. I want to say that ID camps, it's not a home. It's not a home. It's where people stay, people who have been displaced. It should be a short-term living place until you work on their original abode, and then they go home to stay. But if you enter an ID camp in Nigeria, you go stay there. You will be there for a long time, and it is very wrong. The problem is just that I'll continue to say it is lack of political will, because like Mr. Sacramento said, Nigeria, they have the data of these people, they have the right information. It's just for them to work. I think some months ago, I can't remember the particular state, it's either Benue or Edo State, where Mr. P2B said he wanted to travel and visit the people in the internally displaced persons. I think the governor of the state restricted him from...
The two of the states, the two states you call, the two states you call, restricted him.
They restricted him from coming in.
He went to Benue, and without, they said without...
He didn't tell the governor
or whatsoever.
All right.
How does that make sense? When a citizen is, willingly saying that he wants to help these people, you should welcome him, because these are people. The governor is not being affected. He has a large mansion he's living in. So when you now have external help trying to say, okay, let's help, like the United States is offering to help Nigeria, but they don't want it. They just want to run it on their own.
Okay.
That's just lack of political will.
All right, I think it's the lack of political will. Now, because of time, let's just move over to our last story for today. Now, the ECOWAS Court of Justice has once again called out Nigeria for what has become a recurring pattern: consistent refusal to obey regional court judgments. Now, according to the court's report, Nigerians, despite being one of the largest beneficiaries of the ECOWAS system, tops the list of countries ignoring rulings, especially in cases involving human rights violations, unlawful detention, and abuse of state power. Now, legal experts warn that this undermines not just Nigeria's international reputation, but the very credibility of judicial institutions within the sub-region. If the biggest player refuses to obey the rules, what message does that send to the smaller nation? And once again, Nigerians are left asking, why does the government respect international agreements only when it is convenient? Now, ECOWAS, who is kind of in charge of human rights and its violation, have come out to say that Nigerians don't always obey judgments or court rulings, and about 50 cases now have been left unattended, and they are asking if Nigeria could actually, Nigeria, which is one of the top list members of ECOWAS, could actually be non-responsive or unresponsive to court judgments. What does this say, or what message does it pass to smaller nations? And I'm just going to come to you, Mr. Sacramento. Why is Nigeria regarded as the giant of Africa, topping the list of countries ignoring court rulings or judgments?
It's very funny. ECOWAS is crying. Sorry, my brother Jare. We are in a country...
Let them come and live with us.
The truth about it is that a typical black man, don't respect rules of law, except when you go to a country that is well organized, that already the system there has been working. You can't go to United States or UK and break their laws because that law is older than you. But in Nigeria, you have people who are older than the country, who are older than the constitution. So it's going to be a conflicting shadows where an elderly person comes to stoop to. So that is the problem we have. Then we have people who originally do not have business in politics. People who have no business becoming custodians of law. You see the kind of judgments we get just because waters has passed under the bridge. You get unfavorable judgments inside a country that calls themselves the giant of Africa. We have been heading ECOWAS for many years, yet we do not respect any judgment coming from ECOWAS. So it makes it laughable that we are members of ECOWAS and we do not keep to the rules and regulations of that's binding ECOWAS. Except for when we have something like you rightfully said that will be beneficial to us. We don't respect our own inside rules of law. So why should we respect ECOWAS? When the laws that they pass in Nigeria, the judgment that comes from a competent court of jurisdiction, you would not respect it. So how do we respect ECOWAS? You see people bastardize the judiciary system. A particular case, somebody will leave the jurisdiction of that court, go to an interior place, go and get judgment, then that judgment that is coming from a very different place is what will be recognized more than a one that is coming from a court of competent jurisdiction, just because of favor.